Good afternoon. My name is Nikki Kabaso. I'm a Zambian by birth, residing in the United Kingdom. There's been issues that has been going on in Zambia that I feel as a Zambian I've got the right just to make some comments on it. Please, we must understand that we can agree to disagree. We can have different views. We can have different expressions of things, but we don't need to, because I've seen a lot of people, when they don't agree with someone, they tend to take the route of using abusive language. There's no need for that. First and foremost, I want to comment on Honorable JJ Banda. The most important thing first we want to say is that we thank God that he's been found alive and that is okay. But there's a lot of questions that I have that I would love to throw out there for maybe people to give it a thought. For example, why is it that immediately when Honorable Banda went missing, there was this narrative that it's either the government or the UPND government or the president or the people. There's a certain number of society pushing that narrative that he's been abducted by the government. He's been abducted by people from the government. Where did they get that from? Why is it that we did not allow the police to do their investigations? For example, today when Honorable JJ Banda was found, there was an issue whether should he be taken to minor Soko or to go to a private, and the government thought he's a citizen, he's an honorable member of parliament, and there's a lot of stories around what has happened to him. Let's move him somewhere secure. To some people, it looked bad, suspicious. When the government sat back and waited to hear from the police, I'm sure there was a communication between the Home Affairs Minister and the chief police officer, police in charge. There was a communication. He was updating him of what is happening. There was no need at that time for anyone to address the nation because they were slowly following through what was happening. But what surprised me is a certain sector gathered quickly and they pushed the narrative that this man has been abducted. Where did they get it from? The second thing is, if you listened to the interview of the man that found him, he said the JJ Banda was outside and he was in the house. Yeah? I want you to think through. Honorable Banda was outside and the man was inside, and he said, my name is Honorable JJ Banda, this is my phone number, call my wife. Come on. Even if you tell that story to a 3-year-old child, they'll not believe it. And then the interviewer was trying to ask him, who came here first? Was it the police or the wife? He says they all arrived at the same time. How possible is that? Then the second thing is, why is it that the moment JJ Banda was found, the first people to hear was Binwe Mpundu, the first people to hear was, before the police could there's something fishy about it. There is something fishy about it. There's something fishy about it. I personally believe that there's a group of people that want to do all they can do to ensure that the president and the United Party for National Development fails. And one of the things they're insisting is that we will not reach 2026. I mean, if the man has a mandate, if the UPND president has a mandate, if our current president has a mandate until 2026, why are you pushing to say we cannot go up to 2026? It's too far. What is the rush? Let the people come and judge what he has done. Let him reach 2026 and let's go back to voting and say, okay, we don't want President Hakainde Hichilema, we want somebody else. That's the right way to do the things. Why are we pushing? Secondly, I personally don't agree with the system that the former president is using. And whatever he is doing, going through churches, has nothing to do with Christianity, has nothing to do with Zambia being a Christian nation. He's taking advantage of the situation of the state of the nation. A lot of people, we can truly say that they're going through difficult times, okay? everywhere. It's not only in Zambia. If you ask people that live in the United Kingdom, you live in the United States, people live in different countries. People are going through difficult times. Now, people are taking advantage of that, then going to churches and telling people, trying to incite people to rise up against the government. The other thing I would want to say is that I think for our clergymen, men of God, I think you should be the pillar to unite the country. Unite Zambia. Don't let people bring stolen money to you and give you something, then you just rise up against, start making statements that can divide a nation. Because in every congregation, there are people that belong to UPND, there are people that belong to PF, there are people that belong to MMD. So if people will just be inviting people to say, oh, because they're giving them something, or they come and slander. If you look, I'll give you an example. If you look at take some time and listen to the preaching of Honorable Danny Pule on Sunday when they had the service. It had nothing to do with God. Nothing. It was an opportunity to slander, an opportunity to insult, an opportunity to say things that shouldn't be said. If you look at our former president, one of the things I don't agree in is we can disagree, but you will never hear me disrespect either President Hakainde Hichilema or President Lungu. But we are free to disagree. Now listen to the words that President Lungu was using. One, the scriptures were misquoted, out of context. Out of context. The second thing is, we use the Bible to save our own personal interest. They had their own agenda that they wanted to push, their own narrative that they wanted to push. So we go and just take the Bible to quote scriptures in the Bible. That is not the way. Remember, there was a time that some people were going into the church and they started trading in the church. What did Jesus do? He went into the temple and turned the tables upside down. I personally believe there are people who are bent out to ensure that President Hakainde Hichilema does not make it. I heard one member of parliament, an honorable member of parliament, making a statement about Bembas and Ngonis. Listen, we are not going to buy into that. If you want to make a statement, avoid saying, I'm saying this on behalf of Bembas. No. Avoid saying, I'm saying this on behalf of Ngonis. You got no mandate to speak on our behalf. You've got no mandate to speak on our behalf. You are mandated as a member of parliament to speak in a certain area. You cannot speak on behalf of every member. You cannot speak on behalf of, just like I cannot speak on whatever I'm saying is my vision, is my understanding. I cannot say what I'm saying is on behalf of every member. We don't agree with this divisive politics they are using. I personally believe that some people are feeling the pressure. And some people know that surely they're about to be caught with whatever deeds they did before. And because they're feeling the pressure, they want the innocent people to get involved into fighting their battle. No, when you went out and stole from Zambia, you ate by yourself. The only right thing to do, get your children, get your family, let them fight for you. Don't get innocent Zambians to fight for you. Let me give an example. If let's say, let me use a member of parliament who is now a member of member of the UPND. Let's say Honorable Jack Mwimbo, for example, goes and does some deals, and then later on a government changes and they want to investigate him. He cannot go. The people that benefited from whatever he did is his family. Let the family go and fight for him. Don't get Zambia and the nation at large involved in the mess that you have created for yourself. If you know that you are clean, stay back, wait, let them question you, answer the questions. Come on, we all know, both even those that are following people to sing songs of praise, know. How can someone come from having 1 million, and all of a sudden, within a short period of time, is counted amongst the richest people in Zambia. Where did the resources come from? I heard our beloved former president, President Edgar Lungu, said that his benefits have been stopped. They're not allowing him to move. Nobody has stopped his benefits. It clearly states, if a former president gets involved in active politics, the benefits are stopped. So he made a move that contravened what the Constitution requires him to be. So you can't blame it on anybody else. I personally believe there is a hidden agenda. There are people who are bent to make President Hakainde Hichilema fail, and they are using they want to use the church and tribe. But guess what? Zambians are smarter than that. Zambians will rise and they understand what is happening. Zambians will rise and they know what is happening. The only thing is, if we know we are innocent, if somebody is coming after me and they're saying, okay, I've stolen this, and I know I'm innocent, the only thing I should do is let them come, let them challenge me, then I'll defend myself. You see, it's a pity we call ourselves a Christian nation. We call Zambia as a Christian nation. I personally believe that there's people in certain sector of society that are very bitter. They will use the church, they will use the tribe, they will use all it takes to try and divide Zambia. But it will not happen. We are more smarter than that. Whatever the president does, whatever the government is doing is wrong. For example, I heard a video of a clip of a video of, I think the former head of state was addressing some people about CDF. How honestly does a former head of state tell members of a political party to say, don't go and get CDF? It's a trap. Okay, the question I would want to ask is that, is there anything else that the president and the current government has done that the former government would point to and say, this is good? Or is it everything that is being done that is wrong? I think we should be fair. And I think we should move away from politics of insults, for politics of name calling. I personally feel there is this narrative. Even those that are pushing to say we can't go up to 2026, they know that the government is working. They know that certain things will show very soon. They will start to show results very soon. And that's why they want to bring anarchy and confusion so that we don't reach there. And I think it's time that for the purpose of the peace of our country, I think it's time those that come out and start sowing seeds of division should face the law. I think those that come and start sowing the seeds of division should face the law. It is very unfair. It's very unfortunate that we are sinking so low to start dividing people in tribes, to start dividing people in because this one is Tonga, because this one is Bemba. I will give you an example. One of my closest friends that I deal with, do business with, we worship together. This family is from the Western Province. We don't look at each other as this one is Tonga, this one is Bemba. We love each other as Zambians. And I'm telling you, what those people can do for me, even another person from my own blood family would not do for me. So it is unfortunate that we are feeding people with this division. We are feeding people with selfish interest. Some people believe that if there is food on the table, and if they can't eat that food, they would rather have the food spilled all over so that nobody eats. And I believe some people in leadership in Zambia, some people who are in leadership before, and some of whom are still in positions today, they are making sure that it doesn't matter what it will take. Even if it will take people starting to fight each other, as long as they cause chaos, they'll drive that. How do you call yourself a Christian and you're so happy every time there's something negative? How do you call yourself a Christian? You're so happy. You're so overwhelmed. You feel so joy. You feel so. There's something that feeds in you when something is negative. Look at how they rushed to announce when Honorable JJ Banda went missing. Look at how, and I personally believe there's something fishy about the whole thing concerning JJ Banda. There's something fishy. He was found in Kafue. He goes to a house. He knocks on the house. He calls the person on the phone. And my name is JJ Banda. So what phone was he using if all the phones were grabbed from him? What phone was JJ Banda using? And then he gives them the number to call the wife. The wife and all 90% of the people that are found in there is Patriotic Front members. How is it that they were? I personally believe, and I mark my word, this is not the first time this is happening. You will see something else will happen because all they want is to push blame on government and show the international community that Zambia is failing, which is not the truth. Which is not the truth. They were talking about fire that was started in somebody's house. Okay, when fire starts on somebody's house, quickly, the first thing you see is their members go there and they become the police, they become the investigative wings. When the police go there and say, let us do our job, people are coming out and say, they are harassing, they are doing this. What? So you ask yourself, what do they really want? I think it's time. The unfortunate thing is, whatever we are doing as Zambians, we must be very careful because if we are not careful, it can divide the nation. It can also cause the economy to continue. A lot of things can happen. A lot of things we can start to go backwards instead of going forward. And I think all this is paint in one man's desire to cause confusion. And I think I honestly say, from the time we've had presidents from the previous presidents, President Kaunda, President Chiluba, President Michael Sata, President Mwanawasa, President Arabi, all these people. I think if you look at, yes, they went through some struggles. They went through some struggles with other, with the people that went into power, but they put the national interest above their own personal interest. And I don't think President Lungu has that. I think President Lungu has put his personal interest, his personal desire above everything else. That's why you ask yourself, even Ukwa, what is Ukwa about? I don't know if it's Uka or Ukwa. Ukwa is all about him. Take President Lungu out, Ukwa dies. Ukwa dies. And the people that are following him, I'm telling you, 90% of them do not believe in him. 90% don't believe in him. One, they know that this is where you can find, he's the one that was dancing, if you remember previously in one of the ladders, he says, Eba kwatakasaka kandarama, and then he was jumping up and down. So definitely they know that that's where they can find Akasaka Kandarama. And he knows that they're desperate for leadership. Look at a few people. Hari Kauraba. Kalaba never believed in President Lungu. He always openly said he's corrupt, he's that. All these people, I can't talk about my mother, Edith Nawakwi. We all know Madam Nawakwi is a bitter person. We know that it's all about bitterness. We all know that Madam Nawakwi is. We can't talk about people like Sean Tembo, Madam Nawakwi. Those we can't talk about them. But most of the people you find that Ali Kalaba and them, they're just following because of what? They know that there is money, and they are hoping that this money will back and allow somebody else to be. Believe me, even this Ukwa will not go anywhere. Because his intention is him, only him should rule it. So I think, let's be honest, let's allow the police to do their work. Let's allow the government to finish their term. Let them do what they are promising to do. If they don't do it, let the Zambians go and vote them out. Don't start going to this church and this church and this church and this church and this church, inciting people and using tribal remarks. No, let's not go there. In fact, as I'm Bemba by tribe, we Bembas like to tell people that other people are tribalist. In fact, we are worse. Look at the people that are standing on top of a mountain and singing to say, hey, Bemba this, Tonga this, and Lozi this. You never hear Lozis and Tongos speak like that. We speak, we say such things. We the Bembas are the ones that say such things. It's not coming from a Tonga person. I'm Bemba, and I'm telling you the truth. We are the ones that cause such problems. And you see, I have noticed something, because our fellow people, especially from Western Province, those people are more calm, they are more gentle, they don't like to talk anyhow, they are more, we talk, we openly talk, and because they don't talk, we think we can just go in and say, stop dividing the nation on your personal interest. Stop feeding us with a mindset of thinking that Zambia is divided, the president is doing this, no. Allow the man to rule. Allow him to rule. Let the people decide. Let the people decide. Let the people choose. They have chosen. Let him finish his term of office. And I think going forward, I would say, if these things continue like this, I think the president and the government must step up the gear. They must, because if they don't control the system now, it can get out of hands. And I personally feel, I strongly believe there's something fishy about this whole thing. There's something fishy about this whole thing. Something fishy about the disappearance of Honorable JJ Banda. There's something fishy about how he was found. He was outside the house. He was calling the wife. How that they were interviewing Honorable Benwe Mpundu. They asked him to say how in what state was he? Oh, he was in very much pain. Everywhere, touching him, everything, as if he was tortured. Why? Why are you pushing things that you don't? Let the man be interviewed by the police. Let the man speak for himself. Let him tell us, where did he go? It was him who left the house to go to his wife. Nobody from the opposition ever mentioned that it's a kidnapping. Maybe they wanted to steal the car. Maybe they wanted to do. Who wrote the note? Let the police find out the truth. So let us not push the narrative and start feeding people with negative. Oh, the fire that was found in this house was coming from. What if something was left on? Nobody from the opposition is saying maybe she left something on and fire. So there is a narrative being pushed that it is coming from. We are not buying into that. We're not buying into that. We are not buying into that. Don't feed things that are not there. Don't bring stories that are not there. Let's not use our own selfish interest and push that narrative to make people believe that the government is failing. It is unfair. It is very unfair. I'm not saying that everything President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND is doing is perfect. But I'm saying, let's give them time. They've got the mandate of the people. Let them finish what they're doing. Let them finish what they are doing. Let them finish what they are doing. If you say we will rise and make sure that it doesn't, no, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. When President Lungu was in power, he was allowed to rule. He was allowed to do. Yes, he was opposed. Yes, he was challenged. It's normal. It's normal. And then also let's get away from politics of character assassination. Let's get the one thing I've noticed about about PF and the grouping of PF is that we can't reason together. Why am I saying we can't reason? Why can't you sit and bring your narrative forward? Bring whatever you believe forward. They push insults and name calling when President for Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, Dr. Mumba, says something, or they call him a praise singer. Can't anybody else that supports UPND speak? Are we not allowed to speak? If you think the UPND is going the right way, are you not allowed to speak? When you speak, you're a praise singer, but everybody else is allowed to speak and support UKA, support everybody is free. We should coexist and have different versions of our beliefs and still be one Zambia, one nation. So I personally feel that let's wait and see, but we'll hear more. But we thank God that he's alive and we thank God that he's come back. And God bless Zambia. Thank you very much.